name is Konstantin Kaviris, and if you're here, you probably want to learn how to play guitar. So, I'm going to assume you know nothing at all whatsoever, start off with the basics, and work my way up to teaching you some other stuff. So first thing, what are the types of guitar? Well, for now, electric, acoustic. There's a million types of acoustic guitars, a million types of electric. Just know those two. What's the difference? Well, an electric, most obviously, needs to be plugged in. You can get it as loud as you want, or you can adjust the volume. An electric guitar generally has looser strings, which may be better for a beginner. However, with an acoustic guitar, you can get nylon strings put in, which is also easier on your fingers. When you're starting out, the tips of your fingers from pressing against the strings, it can get a bit uncomfortable. A lot of people get blisters on their fingers. Main reason people stop learning guitar before they start is their fingers are hurting them. Work through it. After a few weeks of playing, you'll get calluses and it'll be fine. But just letting you know, your fingers might be in pain for a little while. Now, parts of a guitar. An electric and acoustic, in terms of the way you play them, roughly the same. There's no difference. Parts, an electric guitar has a few more parts, but again, roughly the same. So I'm just going to show you the parts on my electric, my Stratocaster, Fender Stratocaster. Then I'm going to pull out my Ovation Balladeer acoustic guitar and show you some of the differences. So, first, the parts. Headstock, this right here. On the headstock, you have the tuning pegs. These are used to adjust the tuning of the strings. Lucy, righty tighty. Okay. Then you have what's called the nut. This controls the action of the strings, which is how high the strings are off the fretboard. If there's a problem with the strings being too high, go to a guitar store and tell them, you know, the action's too high. They can probably fix that for you. You have the fretboard. That's this entire piece over here. That's on the top of the neck. The fretboard has what's called frets, which are these markers right here, these metal markers. Those are used to space out even chromatic intervals, even sound intervals. Okay. Then the neck is attached to the body of the guitar. On the body of the guitar, I'm going to start with the parts of an electric guitar, then show you the parts of an acoustic, though, like I said, very similar. Main difference, an electric guitar has what's called pickups. Adjuster to toggle through the pickups. Volume, tone. Tone knob basically gives you even a twangier sounding guitar or a darker, muddier sounding guitar sound. Volume knob, volume. And selecting different pickups has different types of sounds to it. Also, some electric guitars have what's called a whammy bar. Don't worry about that. So now that's parts of an electric guitar. Guitar jack also. Plug in there, put into an amp. Yeah. Guitar strap. Then parts of an acoustic guitar. An acoustic guitar. Again, same thing. Headstock, nut, tuning pegs, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Neck, frets, fretboard, all that stuff. You got a sound hole in the middle, and that's pretty much the only difference. So those are the parts of the guitar. There's tons of other types of guitars, but don't worry about that for now. Now, accessories I'd recommend you getting. First thing is a tuner. If you buy a guitar in a kit, most of them come with tuners. If you don't want to go out and buy a tuner and you don't have one, you can usually find a free application on a computer. You can get a pitch pipe that may help, though I would not recommend those. Those can be a little bit difficult to use for beginners. This one I have is a quick tune. Works great. I like it. I've never really used any other brands of tuners. Cheap, I think 10-15 bucks. That I would recommend. Guitar picks. Get whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. You know, you can go out and buy store-bought guitar picks. If you're really cheap, you can probably make them. I've seen guitar picks made out of any material you can name. Animal bone, different plastics, metals. There might be very slight tonal variations, but nothing noticeable. I've even heard of guitar picks made out of credit cards, and those work fine. I've used them. They're great. Capos. The way these work, you take your guitar, and you put the capo over, say, the 2nd fret, and I'll get into that later when I get to how to play a guitar. If you want to try to sing along with what you're doing, which I would very, very highly recommend, this may be helpful just in terms of getting different keys down without having to learn when you're still not advanced enough to try chords in different keys. I'll get into how that works later. There's many different types of capos, but they all work the same. They clamp onto the guitar and press against the strings and change the tuning, basically. Other products I might recommend: string cleaners. Those do help make the strings last longer. However, if you don't really care how good the strings sound, it's not essential. Personally, there's several products I use. One is the guitar string cleaner. You can get that for about $10, or if you don't want to get it, you can use just an old rag or whatever. The way that works, you slide it underneath the strings of the guitar, and you get your next product, a string cleaner. Basically, all these are roughly the same. I wouldn't recommend one brand over the other. They're all pretty much rubbing alcohol, I think. Don't use rubbing alcohol. I've never tried that on the strings. Don't know what it does, but I would recommend buying one of these. You pour a little bit on it, close it, rub it up and down the neck, all the way to the end, and back again. Great for cleaning the guitar. Makes the guitar string sound almost good as new. And then another product that I like is Fast Fret. Personally, I use it with the string cleaner, but you can use them together, I guess. You can use them one or the other. It smells nice. It's vegetable oil. And rub that up and down the neck, down the strings. Take a rag, slide it under the strings, wipe everything off. It makes the guitar smell nice, and it'll help you keep your strings nice and new. So that's it for this video, parts of a guitar. What I'd recommend you do for beginner practice is just take your guitar and try playing around with it. Do different things, try to get noises that you may like. Next up, I'm going to put a video on how to change the strings and tune a guitar. Get you started with that, and then we'll get started with some slightly more advanced, actual exercises. Hope this video was helpful. Have a nice day.